If you've been in high ticket sales for a while and you've taken different programs, you try different things, still not getting the results that you want, and you're pissed off, you're frustrated, there's mainly three different reasons why you're still stuck, and let's break down each one. Number one, you're not talking to enough leads. Most closers just get stuck on, hey, what's the fancy objection handling reframe I can do? Hey, what's like a better script? Hey, can we do a call review? Those things are all fantastic, but pointless if you're only talking to maybe 5 to 10 leads a week. And if I look at most closers' data, most closers' calendar, that's how it looks like. They think they're working 60 hours a week. They think they're burned out. When in reality, when we break down the data, they're talking to 10 leads a week, 15 leads a week. And if you're talking to them for 1 hour each time for a sales call, oh, congratulations, you're working 10 to 15 hours a week. You have a part-time job. And so it may feel like you're working a lot of hours because you're at your desk, but in reality, you're not actually working and selling. You're doing a lot of busy work. And what's the only way as a salesperson that we get paid and make money? By actually selling and closing deals, right? So a lot of people just get stuck on like, hey, like, let me just like do some random role plays with my sales homie. Let me just watch some random YouTube videos. Let me go on a walk. And those things are fantastic, but you can do that outside of your selling hours. And as a side note, you don't want to random role play with random people that are not getting the results that you want to get, because you're going to end up picking up bad habits from one another and you're just going to give each other feedback. And it's like the blind leading the blind, right? A lot of closers get stuck on some useless metric. Like the other day I heard a offer to close ratio. I'm like, what's an offer to close ratio? It's like, well, you know, whenever I make an offer and then they close, then it's an offer to close rate. I mean, that's kind of cool. It's kind of pointless metric because you can just pull offers. You can just not offer to people and you can just not pitch by saying, you know what? I don't think you're a good fit. So let me just reach back out when you're ready. You can just do that and then only make an offer to people that are just ready to buy. And you can just inflate that number to 70, 80%. All the skills you have, all the objection handling, tonality, scripts that you learned from the other programs that you took, the courses you took from before, you can't have the full effect of that if you don't have enough leads you're talking to. That's one of the biggest reasons. All these programs are teaching like the objection handling reference. Those are fantastic, but you're talking to 10 leads a week. Like, when are you going to use that? And the thing is, getting better at sales takes time. Something Matt Ryder told me, getting better at sales takes time, and being good at sales is hard. That doesn't mean it's impossible. That doesn't mean like, oh man, it's so hard, I shouldn't even try. It's not like that. But just realize all your favorite sales gurus that you look up to, that you're following, it took them years. It took them 5 years, 10 years, some 20 years. It never ends. You keep learning new things. You keep trying different things, and start prospects and buyers' behavior change. So it's not like we ever arrive. Question is, what are you going to do in the meantime to actually close more deals, actually make more commissions? Because not all of us are just naturally good with people, naturally good with sales. The path that I took was, yes, I worked on my skills like tonality, objection prevention, objection, all that kind of stuff. I practiced it, actually tried hard, which we'll talk about in the other point. But also, when I didn't have a lead that I could talk to at that time during my working hours, I actually went and dialed leads. And so let's say you have 8 to 10 hours a day available. Most people will have like 4 to 6 calls booked, but maybe like 2 or 3 people a day will show up. You got to ask yourself, is that really enough of volume for you to actually hit your commission goal? If your goal is to get to 10K a month, if your goal is to get to 15K a month, if your goal is to get to 20K a month, is that really enough for you to get to your goal with your current skill set right now? Because listen, skill set, it's going to take time. I hate to break it to you. I'm not here to sell you the dream. You're not going to be a master of sales within 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. Doesn't matter what these gurus are telling you these days, right? So it's going to take time. So what are you going to do in the meantime? What I did, I just went to the CRM and dialed leads. Unsexy, boring, which is why most people didn't do it. Most people on my offer didn't do it. Most people in the industry didn't do it. But I was just lucky enough to learn how to do that professionalism as being a sales professional, because you're not like a high ticket closer. I just say that just so people understand what it is. You are a sales professional. I always make the distinction. Princess closers are closers that just wait for leads to come to them from the marketing. And the moment they don't get a call on their calendar, now they start, oh man, I don't have any calls on my calendar. Man, the marketing sucks. I can't do anything. Or you can just call more leads. You can go back to the people that didn't buy, follow up with them, turn them into sales. People that booked the call but didn't show up. People that opted into something like a lead magnet. What about those people? You can call the people that you sold, ask for referrals, try to upsell them, renew them. How many of those are you doing that each day? So how many dials a day are you making each day during your no-show time or empty space in your calendar? What's your talk time? And so if it's not a maximum amount of time that you could actually maximize from your calendar, then why are you complaining? I'm not talking to you directly, but I see people in the industry. That's what we call them princess closers. It's like, yep, I don't do anything. Yep, I want them to be laydowns. Yep, I don't follow up. You know, if I just qualify leads only. What is that? That's not real sales. That's just not. And so when you got in the industry, I know the marketing message you got is like, hey, be in the beach, just answer some questions. It's easy to learn sales. You get a 10 grand month in 90 days. That's not real sales. I mean, you could do it that way. That's one way. But if you're okay with just keep losing out on deals and commissions, and if you're okay with making the commissions you're making right now, then absolutely by all means go for it. I'm not here to espouse my goals onto you because everyone's goals are different. Would you rather be a leaf in the wind, just like hoping the leads come to you and like if nothing happens and like you don't close deals, or going to the CRM dial lead. And like the actual like tactics and like processes of it, we can go over it. And a general rule of thumb in our industry, you want to be pitching 6 leads a day, 5 days a week. So why is that number? Because if you're pitching 6 leads a day and you're doing it 5 days a week, not even 7 days a week, 5 days a week, which is about 30 hours a week of work. Most of us here are selling 5 to 10K pro. So, and about 10% commission. For most people, they're going to make around $500 commission per sale. If we do the math on that, let's say you're talking to 30 leads a week, $500 commission. And let's say you're closing at not even 70%, not even 50%. Let's just say 30%. 9 deals a week that you're closing, times it by 4 weeks in a month. That's about 36 deals a month. Times up by $500. And if my math is correct, that's about $18,000 in commissions. 18K a month. Not so bad for 30 hours a week of work. Now, you may be saying like, but I don't have 30 weeks that I'm showing up each week. Then fix it. Either improve your show up rate, just go into the CRM and call more leads. Or if your business can provide those leads, then fantastic. But if not, would you rather complain or do something about it? All right, the second thing is they don't have the right skills. And this is the obvious part, but there's a caveat to it. We all have some level of skills, right? Most of us have gone through different sales programs. So like we have a script, we know kind of general idea of what questions to ask, kind of learned about tonality, objection handling, we kind of know. However, there's a difference between knowing something and understanding something versus being able to executing on the right strategy and the right skills. So I'll give you an example. A lot of people in the industry is like, oh, I know that reframe. I know how to do that. I know you got to have right tonality. But the question is, how well can you do it? It's not a matter of can you do it or can you not do it, because we all can do it. How well can you do it? It's not a binary, it's a continuum. So if I were to put you in a sales call right now and the lead gives you a scenario, maybe they say they're just giving a vague surface area. Yeah, I'm just, just looking around, just wanted to get more information. Do you know exactly what to say to find out what this person wants and actually find out actually their problem and how the problem's affecting them, how long the problem's going on and what's causing the problem? And if it's, let's say you sell BizUp, for example, just wanting to make more money, is that really deep enough for the person to do something about it? Or them just saying, I'm not making enough money. Is that really deep enough? It's something, but it's surface layer, right? If we just stay surface layer in the conversation, what typically happens at the end of the sales call? Let me just go think about it. Yeah, that's just not how I make decisions. So you're getting slammed with different objections. So what do we got to do? We got to go deeper into the problem. As an example, they say something like, yeah, I'm not making enough money. What do you mean by that? It's like, like I'm just not able to pay bills, da da da. How long has it been going on? And then they say like, for like 6 months. So you not being able to pay bills. I mean, I've been there too, but what's that doing to you? It's just stress. Yeah, da 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 da. Now we're getting somewhere, right? And that's just in the first 5 minutes of the call. And later on, we stretch it when you're future pacing goals. We turn a want into a need, which is a whole nother topic. We got to get them into understanding what the actual consequences and the costs of them keep doing the same thing. We got to get them to a point where it's their worst nightmare, not just surface layer stuff. And so if it stays surface layer, then you're just going to keep running into the situation. So some people may understand it theoretically, being able to do it is another thing. How long could you last? That's the thing. So that's what the actual question. So here's what I realized with like the scripts in our industry. Sales scripts are fantastic. It gives you questions that you can ask and it gives you a framework and a roadmap. The limitation I find with sales scripts is that there's not much flexibility to it. The script says, okay, ask these questions. But what if the prospect answers this way? And what if the prospect answers this way? What if you're dealing with this type of person where they're more vague? What if you're dealing with this type of person where they're a lot more emotional and open up to you? In different scenarios, what are you supposed to do? That's why a lot of people are scared to use scripts because I feel I'm going to be too rigid. Yes or no, depending on how you do it. So which is why I had to figure out a different way, which is I had to flesh out a sales decision tree. A decision tree is essentially a flow chart. Oh, if the prospect says this, you go here. If they answer this way, you go there. And what you do is you do that, you map that out from start all the way to the finish, all the way to the close. If you want to get access to some of the decision trees that we talk about here, that way you know exactly where to go. With the prospect says this, if the prospect says that, then you can actually close more deals and get the feedback from me. You can go to Real Sales System Lite, which is our free skill community. Go to the first link in the description box below. I'll see you there. The moment you get better at asking questions and also how you ask it using the right tonality and pacing it out well, then you'll find that typically your sales conversations become quite predictable. So you'll get like 1, maybe 2 different types of answers, maybe 3 max. It doesn't matter what kind of answers they give you, you know exactly how to progress into the conversation and actually facilitate it towards a sale. So as an example, when you ask them a question, it's like, oh, is it working? Let's say you do business coaching, lead gen, for example, right? And the prospect says, yeah, we've been doing word of mouth referrals, yada, yada, yada. Okay, is it working? And then what's the different types of answers they could give you? Yes or no, or a yes and no. Those are the only types of answers they could give you. Why? Because that question is very predictable. Is that working? And then from there, you can be like, if you get a no, oh, what's not working? And then, oh, we're not getting enough leads. From there, you can clarify and probe and actually uncover into the problem. If they say yes, what's working? Oh, we get good referrals, yada, yada, yada. And then from there, you can do a two question. I mean, it sounds like it's going really well. Is there anything you would change about either the way you're generating the leads or I guess the quality or the quantity of the leads you're getting from them, if you could. So what does it do? That's a 2 truths question, but a more specified version of it, right? Which I learned from Matt Ryder. So when you do that, now from there, they can only give you 1 or 2 different types of answers. One is a problem-based answer. The other one is an outcome-based answer. Problem-based answer is like, yeah, we're not getting enough leads. That's a problem. An outcome-based answer is, yeah, we'd like to get more leads. So it's not a problem, but we're actually getting somewhere. But that's not a problem to solve. So we got to understand the problem. Otherwise, if they don't realize that they have a problem or it's bad enough, why should they feel the need to actually change it or do something about it? So I'd like to get more leads. From there, you can ask a question of, what have you seen in your lead quality now that's making you want to get higher quality leads? So from there, that question makes your conversation so predictable. You can go steal that. It makes it very predictable because when you do that with a very high probability, as long as you're asking it right, with the right tonality and as you're pacing it right, then they'll say, oh, you know, we're not getting enough quality leads. What have you seen in your XYZ situation that's making you want to get XYZ desired outcome that you just told me? Because when you ask it that way, seen is a visual cue. So they have to go back to that thing, what's wrong with it, to actually uncover and realize their own problem. And so you want to have this with every single step of the way of the sales call because there's different scenarios that pop up. But if you don't do that, then what happens? Well, if the prospect answers this way, now you're lost. Oh, I don't know how to go about that situation. So the problem with that at that point, it gives you less certainty. And in your tonality, in your body language, in your facial expression, it shows that you're not so confident. If you don't look so confident, then why should prospects follow your leads and actually open up to you and actually buy from you? And also, you don't get the answers you need to get in order to actually move that toward a sale. So what does it do? More objections, right? So you want to have that. That's the sales call part. And the objections too. All the common objections that you're getting right now, you're losing deals to, you better know what to say off the dome. So if the prospect says, yeah, I want to go think about it, you better know what the to exactly say to actually go about the situation. Your mouth better already be moving. Even before you actually think what you're going to say, your mouth is already moving because you know already exactly what you're going to say. Third thing, you're not trying hard enough. It boggles my mind. I remember when I was on my last stuff, and what I would do is I would have check-in calls with the people that I sell in order to generate referrals, upsells, and renewals. So I talked with these people and I'll talk with them at day 21. I'll talk with them at, around like day 45, 60, 90, so on and so forth. And it fucking boggled my mind on how people spend $10,000 and they don't fucking try hard enough. Most importantly, more than the $10,000 regarding their goal. They say on the sales call, I want to retire my wife. I hate where I'm at. Hospital bills are piling up. We're in debt. I'm frustrated. They'll say all these things, but after 90 days, they still haven't memorized the scripts and they can't go through a think about it objection. I was like, dude, and I'd say to these people, like, what do you mean what happened? Oh, life got in the way. I got busy. Oh, da. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And because I know in the program, plenty of people got results. It's just that most people didn't put in the work. And so there's different parts to that, right? How I look at it with different programs is the course creator, the program, it's their responsibility to make that better, but also it's the client's responsibility to actually put in the work and actually raise hand when they get stuck and so on and so forth. So it's both person's responsibility, but let's talk about what you can control, which is you actually doing the work. It boggled my mind after 90 days, they still haven't memorized their scripts. If they got to think about objection, they still don't know what the fuck to say. That is 100% your fault. As long as the program told you, and most programs do, at least sales programs. If you still don't know what to say, you don't have anyone else to blame but yourself. Going back to the previous points, whenever you get an objection or a prospect throws you a scenario where they're being vague or an A-type prospect saying like, hey, just tell me how much does it cost? Those scenarios, and you don't know exactly what to do, that's your fault. If you don't know how to do it, then okay, you got to do something about it. If you do know how to do it theoretically, but you can't do it, that's all on you. You want to practice the scripting, the tonality, the pacing it out, your facial expression, your body language. You want to practice that so many times and get the right feedback and practice the right way so many times that you cannot get it wrong. We're sales professionals. You're not a high-ticket closer. And so as a professional, if you're not doing that, then your income will show it and your commission checks will show it. And on your sales call, it will reflect. The work that you put in privates reflects in the results you get in public. You want to practice it to the point where, let's say a prospect says, let me think about it. I want to go talk to my wife. It's not like you have to consciously think, what am I going to say? Your mouth is already moving. If you're walking down the street and some dude tried to punch you in the face, you're immediately going to duck or dodge. You're not thinking, should I duck this way? Dodge this way? Should I duck this way? Like, what should I do? No, your body's already moving as an instinct. Same thing on a sales call. Your mouth is already moving. Yeah, it's not a problem. Money aside, do you feel like this could help you get to where I want to go? When I was selling in Korea to US leads, I was waking up at 3:30 in the morning. When I was hitting dial, because we did over the phone, but when I hit dial and then the prospect answers, I'm still asleep. I don't take coffee. I haven't taken a shower. I'm like still like this, right? I just woke up, ate it. It's too early. My mouth is already moving. Hey, so you booked a call for this? Is that right? I don't have to think. Why? Because I practiced it so many times and that's what you want to do. Sales is an interesting paradox because because we want to get prospects to an emotional state so they actually make a buying decision and take action on their goals. But when we're problem solving our own sales, we want to be as much of a robot as much as possible in a way that, okay, so this is the data. I'm trying to do this. This is my biggest problem right now. So these are the possible solutions I could take. I'm going to take this solution first. I'm going to take what I'm going to see how it goes after that. That's kind of how you want to problem solve in sales and in life in general, because when you're problem solving things, you have emotions involved, quite difficult for you to fix it. So obviously we're human. So obviously emotions are going to be involved to some degree, but we put that aside to the much of our ability. That's why I always say track your data and look at your data, because when you do that, when you're looking at data, your brain automatically goes into a logical, objective state. It's more difficult to become emotional when you're looking at a spreadsheet. But if you're not looking at it, if you're in your head, you're like, oh man, what the should I do? Then now, yeah, you're going to be more emotional. And also another thing too, let's say you're going through a program and the group coaching calls are the only training you do, you're going to be in big trouble, because there's no way in hell you're going to be able to retain all the information that the coach or the educator is telling you on the first go and being able to get it right the next time you hop on a call on the first go. If you are, let me know, let me download your brain, because I love to have that. But there's no way we do that. So a lot of times we lose information and we can't execute the first time. So what do we got to do? First thing is foremost, you got to have speed of implementation. You got to implement it immediately as soon as possible, because the sooner you implement, the less information you're actually able to lose from the thing you got from the coach or the educator, so you can actually implement more of it. And also outside of your selling hours, you need to be practicing this shit, because if you don't, there's no way you're going to get that right. You want to be practicing it like we talked about earlier. You practice it so many times to the point where you cannot get it wrong. That's the whole point. That's what professionals are doing to become one of the highest paid people in their profession. Why aren't we doing it? Doesn't make any sense. And again, if you're happy with the commissions you're making, like buy all for it, like just do the bare minimum. That's fantastic. Nothing wrong with it. I'm not saying that to be funny, but just nothing wrong with it. But if you're not okay with it, then you better be fine doing something. We have a choice. We can either complain about it or do something about it. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more about how to bring more pain points from the prospects and prevent more objections so you can close more deals, go to this video right here. A lot of people found it helpful, so I'll see you there.